What are the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life band true meaning and it represents? First, Scripture does not present the trees as ordinary physical trees only. They are physical signs with spiritual reality behind them. Like the tabernacle was physical but pointed to spiritual truth. You can read this in Hebrews 8 verse 5 teaches that Yahweh gave Moshe the heavenly pattern of his true doctrine, and the earthly tabernacle was only a shadow of this original design, showing that only Yahweh pattern is true, and human traditions have no authority. So both trees represent spiritual realms, which is two types of doctrines, two sources, and two kingdoms. 1. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil represents a mixed doctrine. This tree is not knowledge in general. Yahweh gave Adam and Eve the ability to know and discern already. This tree represents a mixed seed of truth plus lies. This is exactly what Hashatan does. He does not replace Yahweh's word. He twists it. He mixes truth and falsehood. He presents half-truth that becomes a deadly doctrine. This is the reality of the tree. Genesis 3 verses 1 to 5 shows the mixing. 1. Hashatan quotes Yahweh's word. 2. Then he alters a small part. 3. Then he inserts a counter word. 4. Then he redefines good and evil by his own doctrine. This is exactly the knowledge of good and evil. Men learning righteousness and sin from a source outside Yahweh. 2. The tree of life is equals to pure commandment or pure doctrine of Yahweh. The tree of life appears throughout Scripture as something clear. In Proverbs 3 verse 18, wisdom is equals to the tree of life. Wisdom in Scripture means the commandments, the Torah, the pure word of Yahweh. In Proverbs 11 verse 30, the fruit of the righteous is equals to the tree of life. Then in Proverbs 13 verse 12, righteous desire fulfilled represent the tree of life. The pattern is clear. Tree of life equals pure obedience, pure truth, pure doctrine. In Revelation 22 verse 14, blessed are those doing his commandments, so that their authority shall be the tree of life. This is directly connects the commandments to the tree of life. 3. Why the tree of knowledge is not just bad but mixed.
Because if the tree was pure evil, it would be easy to reject.
But mixture is deadly because in Deuteronomy 12 verse 32, you shall not add nor take away from my word. The reason why does Yahweh warn against mixing? Because mixing is equals to death. And this is exactly what the tree represents. Man becomes his own interpreter instead of obeying Yahweh. Adam and Eve tried to understand good and evil apart from Yahweh's pure commandment. This is why they died spiritually. 4. The spiritual meaning of the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is a false doctrine. It is a counter word, a counter Torah, a mixture of truth and lies, source of self-rule, source of human doctrine, source of religion created by men. Hashatan used the tree to introduce independence from Yahweh, saying, you shall be like Elohim. Meaning, you decide truth without Yahweh, and this is the root of all false religion. 5. The tree of life and the tree of knowledge are two doctrines and two kingdoms. Tree of life is the pure Torah and the tree of knowledge is the twisted Torah. The tree of life is the Yahweh voice. The tree of knowledge is the Hashatan voice. The tree of life is to be obedience. But the tree of knowledge is to have self-interpretation. The tree of life is the spirit of truth. But the tree of knowledge is spirit of error. This is confirmed in verse 1 John 4:6. He who knows Elohim hears us, he who is not of Elohim does not hear us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. The trees represent these two spirits. 6. The ultimate fulfillment of both trees in Yahushua. Yahushua is the tree of life, and this supported in verses John 14 verse 6, John 6:33, John 15 verse 1 to 5. For he is the Word made flesh, pure doctrine, pure commandment, and pure life. While Hashatan is the tree of knowledge, and this is confirmed in verse John 8:44, saying there is no truth in him. But he is a liar and the father of it. Hashatan's teaching brought death, while Yahushua teaching brings life. 7. Why Yahweh did not allow men to eat from tree of life after fall. In Genesis 3 verse 22, lest he put out his hand and take also from the tree of life and live forever. Meaning, man cannot live forever while holding a twisted doctrine. He must be cleansed first. Death was mercy, to stop eternal corruption. Only through Yahushua can we eat of the tree of life again. Tree of knowledge of good and evil is Yahweh word twisted by Hashut and Weil. Tree of life is commandment and pure doctrine of Yahweh. Both trees represent two doctrines. The battle is between pure truth and mixed truth. And this is the foundation of all scriptures. In my next video, we will go into a deeper explanation of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge according to Yahweh's true doctrine, and we will also discuss the following. 1. The tree of life in Ezekiel's temple. 2. The connection to the book of Enoch. 3. How the tree of knowledge became the root of Christian doctrine, the mother of all religion. 4. How Yahushua restores the tree of life. Thanks for watching. And have a great day, remnants.